251 Star Spirit Farm, did you make an appointment to catch an adulterer? 4/4 monthly ticket request. Mavis fell asleep quickly, in less than 5 minutes. The sleep quality is really good. Nate expressed envy. Those who work with brains must have a deep understanding that every time they are busy until late at night and want to sleep, the brain will not suddenly rest. Mavis fell asleep, but Nate couldn't fall asleep for a while. He simply opened the magic network and browsed the major sections. After a while, he suddenly felt someone approaching. The 6 eyes immediately penetrated the tent and found Mirajana's magical aura outside the tent. Then, a voice came. Nate, I got some fish from Gildarts. Are you hungry? Hey, you set up a tent. Why is Myra here? Is she here to deliver food? Nate was very happy to deliver food to him. But when he turned around and saw Mavis sleeping, he was immediately confused. What would happen if Myra Jane saw Mavis sleeping in the same tent? The most important thing is that the sleeping bag Mavis was sleeping in was the one Myra Jane had slept in before. First generation, Myra is here. Nate immediately used telepathy magic to wake Mavis. You don't want the guild to see us sleeping in the same tent, right? Mavis woke up in a daze. Myra? Ah! After sensing the breath from the outside world, Mavis was startled. Then, she became invisible. Just at this time, Mirajana came to the tent. Nate? Are you asleep? No, please come in. Nate got up from the sleeping bag and opened the tent. Mila Jane came in with 2 grilled fish in her hands. She sat down in a duck-like posture, handed the grilled fish to Nate, and laughed softly. Seeing this tent reminds me of the previous camping. Nate took her grilled fish, opened his mouth and tasted it, and saw that the hostess's cooking skills were still as good as ever. Camping? You can sleep here today. Mila Jane blushed slightly, and smiled, you must want to do something bad. Then, she hesitated and said, actually, I want to ask you something. Just now, I slept in your sleeping bag, and there was definitely no other person. Well, ghosts are not considered human. Before he knew what she was going to say, Nate calmly asked. What's the matter? It's about celestial Pokemon. It was originally Pokemon, I thought you were here to catch someone cheating. Nate thought, that's not right, he and Mavis are innocent, there's no cheating to be caught. What's wrong with Pokemon? While asking, Nate handed another grilled fish to Myra's mouth. Myra opened her mouth and gently took a bite of the fish, chewing it slowly and swallowing it. It feels a bit pitiful that Pokemon has always stayed in the card. So, Mirajana raised a finger and suggested, can we create a home for celestial Pokemon? It can let all the players' Pokemon stay together, so they won't feel bored. Players can now draw more than 60 types of Pokemon. If you count the Pokemon that are drawn repeatedly, it can be said that a player who has collected all of them may have hundreds of them. Nate swallowed a grilled fish with bones in a few bites. You mean, create a place like Pokemon Farm in the Magic Network? Pokemon Farm? Mirajana's eyes lit up, can this be done? Yes, and it's very simple. Nate nodded. It's simple, just like creating a dual map of the Magic Arena. It's just a farm where players' Pokemon can be raised. Going further, you can actually do some farm planting. Astral Pokemon don't need to eat. They are essentially puppets, not real creatures. But if there is a farm, players can grow some things that Pokemon like to eat and then make them into food. This is also part of the cultivation game. The only question is, how many farms are needed to create such a farm? Now the number of players of Astral Pokemon exceeds 500,000, and it is growing every day. Theoretically, one player needs a farm. That is 500,000 maps. How much mana would it consume? Nate didn't even want to calculate it. Just thinking about it made his scalp numb. Seeing him frown, Myra Jane asked, are there any difficulties? No difficulties. Knight thought for a while and said, such a farm would be a bit expensive to build, and it can't be provided for free. Yes, it can be sold for money. Anyway, Knight can't afford it for free. On the contrary, allowing players to spend magic network coins to buy farms can make a fortune. Thinking of this, Knight couldn't help hugging Myra Jane and kissing her on the face. You are a genius, Miss Myra, you helped me think of a good idea. Pokemon Farm? Just call it Star Spirit Farm. In addition to the cultivation of combat direction, Pokemon also needs to prepare the cultivation process for players in terms of life. Hate. Myra touched the place where she was kissed and said angrily. Knight simply pulled her into his arms and kissed her red lips. No. Myra Jane hit Knight in shame and anger, and then was kissed. Just then, she suddenly sensed someone approaching. Knight. It was Urza's voice. Myra Jane froze and quickly pushed Knight away, her face flushed. What should I do? It's Urza. Did you guys make an appointment to catch an adulterer? Knight complained in his heart, I'll take you home first. Yes. Myra Jane nodded quickly, she didn't want Urza to see her and Knight in the same tent. Otherwise, everyone would know about it the next day. What kind of gossip would appear in the group, I dare not imagine. The most important thing is that they are examiners, and they are secretly meeting while the candidates are working hard on the exam. How shameful! Knight quickly activated Flying Thunder God and sent Myra Jane away. At this time, Urza just came outside the tent. When Knight opened the tent, he saw Urza holding a quilt in her hand and whispered. It's a bit cold on the island at night. I wanted to bring you quilts, but I didn't expect you to bring a tent. Urza is such a person. Before going out, she will prepare all the necessary items. Like pots and pans, tents, quilts, sleeping bags, the luggage she brought this time can be said to have everything. Come in quickly. Knight pulled Urza into the tent, and then closed the tent to prevent the cold wind from blowing in. After coming in, Urza knelt in the tent and took the initiative to help spread the quilt. Knight simply put away the sleeping bag and helped. Thank you for your hard work. Urza spread the quilt and smiled slightly, it's the girlfriend's duty to take care of the boyfriend. After saying that, she got up and got out of the tent and left. What a good woman. Knight lay in the warm quilt. It should be said that the quilt is much more comfortable than the sleeping bag. Close your eyes and prepare to sleep. After an unknown amount of time, Knight suddenly opened his eyes and was startled by Mavis again. First generation, what are you doing here? Mavis came back at some point and got into bed by herself, blinking her innocent eyes at Knight. Arisa is such a good kid, treat her well. Knight. No, this is not a sleeping bag. Are you coming here to sleep with me? Ha hello, fourth generation. Mavis covered her mouth and yawned. She did not take off her clothes. She covered herself with the quilt, closed her eyes and fell asleep peacefully. Baby-like sleep quality. Nate was helpless. After thinking about it, he still did not drive her away. So, one person and one ghost, separated by half a meter, fell asleep separately. The next day, Mavis opened her eyes. She found herself in a warm embrace. She raised her head slightly and saw Knight's sleeping face. She lowered her head again and gently lifted the quilt. A hand came in from her skirt and was grabbing her little panda. Instantly, Mavis's face turned red, and clouds of steam kept coming out of her head. An unclean behavior. 252 The first generation of easy-to-please little Lolita, eliminated in the first round. Mavis sat in the tent, tears falling down. It's the hands that have their own ideas. Actually, I don't know anything. Nate's face was full of helplessness. When I fell asleep yesterday, I clearly kept a safe distance. Okay, first generation, stop crying. I'll treat you to strawberry cake for a month. Woo, I'm not crying. Mavis wiped her tears and said firmly, then stretched out 2 fingers. 2 months. Nate nodded. 2 months is 2 months. Let's forget about what happened yesterday. At the same time, I sighed in my heart. It was you who got into my arms. I admit that I touched your little panda, but it was an unconscious behavior when I was sleeping. I am innocent. I am definitely not a Lolita control. Seeming to have read some information from Knight's expression, Mavis glared at him angrily. 4th generation, you seem to be thinking about something rude. No. Knight denied it flatly. Mavis could feel the focus of her eyes, subconsciously lowered her head, and grabbed her chest with both hands. Then, she cried with a wow. Knight watched her run away in tears and float out of the tent, so he had to open the magic net and send her an apology. Sigma man, sorry, 1st generation, this is all the fault of the god Anxelrum. Fairies are always adventurous, crying loudly. JPG. Sigma man, 3 months. Fairies, it's an eternal adventure, crying softly. JPG. Sigma man, 4 months. Strong. JPG. Fairy is an eternal adventure, I'm not a glutton. Rage. JPG. Sigma man, 6 months, wait for me to find out where the best desserts are in Fiore. Fairy is an eternal adventure, I forgive you, smiley face. JPG. You're so easy to please, 1st generation. Nate couldn't help but laugh. Fairy is an eternal adventure, but this matter must be forgotten. Sigma man, I don't remember anything. Fairies are forever adventures, rage. JPG. Didn't you ask me to forget? Nate complained in his heart. Sigma man, actually, I remember, I can't forget. Fairies are forever adventures, forget it quickly. Staring. JPG. After sending this sentence, Mavis ignored him. I don't know where she ran off to. Nate ignored her for the time being, changed into cool summer clothes, walked out of the tent and put all the tent bedding into the changing space. Then, with a slight gaze, he observed the situation of the entire island with 6 eyes. Southwest of Tenro Island, a cave tunnel. Lucy and Kana finally met. The two took out their white balls at the first time, and after colliding with each other, the seal was lifted. A magic map unfolded in front of the two. This is the map of Tenro Island, Lucy said in surprise, there are 6 points on it. She pointed to the center of the map. 6 dots were evenly distributed around the Sirius tree, and 5 of them had turned grey. Kana asked in confusion, the map will guide us to the 2nd level? What does this mean? Lucy moved closer to the map and saw a line of very small words on the 6 dots. It's the name. She said and suddenly said, I understand. These dots represent the positions of the 6 examiners. So, should we move towards the black dots? Kana suddenly had a bad feeling. 6 dots, 5 have turned grey, could it be that? Lucy nodded hurriedly, this may be a hidden rule. Grey means that it has been selected by other teams, and black means that it has not been challenged yet. 8 teams, only 6 examiners. This means that this first level will inevitably eliminate 2 teams. And now, there is only 1 examiner left. Where is Knight? Kana hurriedly looked for the black dot represented by Knight on the map, and it turned grey. It's over. Without Knight, who will help them? The other teams are joining too fast. Kana thought that she gave Lucy a card to guide the direction, and she would definitely be one of the fastest joining teams. The remaining examiners are. Lucy was mad and trembling. No, I have to face the devil. Is it Myra? My first S-level exam seems to be over. It's not time to give up yet. Lucy, let's go quickly, don't let the other 2 teams get ahead. Lucy sighed, Kana, I'm sorry, I came too late. Kana shook her head and smiled, don't mind it, we are partners, aren't we? Anyway, let's challenge the 2nd level first. Yet. Immediately, the two quickly went to the position of the last examiner. With the guidance of the map, it took only half an hour to reach the examination site of the second level. Under the sky-high Sirius tree, Myra Jane slowly turned around, tilted her head, and smiled. "Are you the last group?" "Kana, Lucy, congratulations on passing the first level successfully." Lucy put her hands together and put her face against her cheek to act cute. "Miss Myra, you will definitely let us go, right?" "No," Myra Jane said with a smile. "According to the rules of the second level, my test is very simple. You need to protect the two small balls in your hands. As long as you hold on for 10 minutes, you will pass the level." "Protect the small balls?" Kana and Lucy looked at each other. "It sounds very simple." "Then, accept the black-winged demon with your whole body." Boom! The sky-high magic power burst out, and the sky seemed to be raining dark green magic power. Looking at Miss Myra in the form of the black-winged demon, Lucy and Kana immediately showed a frightened expression. "How is it simple?" S-level upgrade exam chat group. Sigma Man, I just woke up. How is the exam going? Arisa, just now, Myra's side also started. Sigma Man, where are the others? Laxus, Gildarts, Mist Gang. Arisa, they are all taking the exam. I just finished it. Arisa, the opponent is Uzumaki. Lusha and Melty, they passed smoothly. Sigma Man, so, 2 teams have been eliminated. Who are they? Urza, not sure, the eliminated teams will be teleported back to the ship by the ball. Sigma Man, I'll go and have a look, smirk.jpg. Tenro Island, the eastern coast. On the deck of the guild ship. A flash of golden light, Knight instantly came through. Then, he saw 4 girls. Alba Green and Levy. Juvia and Wendy. It turned out to be these 2 teams. Why were you eliminated? Knight couldn't help but ask curiously. Weevawu, Lord Knight. Juvia cried and threw herself into Knight's arms. Juvia disappointed you. Knight had to pat her on the back to comfort her. So how did you get eliminated? Wendy whispered, lost. Sorry. What the hell is getting lost? Knight turned to look at Alba Green and Levi. Levi said, we guessed in advance that a team would be eliminated in the first round. 6 examiners, 8 teams, at least 2 will be eliminated. Alba Green looked depressed, so, I want to strike first. Then what? Alba Green covered her face in shame and anger. I have never played against her. I should not have chosen Ursha earlier. 253 candidates eliminated one after another, Mist Gang exposed. 2 of the 8 teams have been eliminated. Knight was a little speechless about their elimination method. Wendy and Juvia got lost, which made them 1 step slower than Lucy Kana. After all 6 examiners were chosen, they were automatically eliminated. But if you want to talk about outrageous, it is still Levi and Alba Green. They took the initiative and ended up picking a hard bone to chew. Knight immediately interviewed Alba Green. Why did you choose Ursha? Is he looking down on Miss Witch too much? After all, she is also a former counselor. Because the opportunity is too good. Alba Green clenched her fist and said dejectedly. In the situation at that time, if she was hit by my petrifying eye, she would turn into stone. Nate smiled and said, so, it didn't work. The 3 members of the Thunder God group all have special eye magic. Captain Farad has dark eyes, which can use dark text magic through his eyes. Bigusro has shaping eyes, which can manipulate the soul of the target. And Alba Green's is called petrifying eyes, which can petrify the target who looks at her. It worked. But Alba Green covered her face again. Who knew it was a thought body? The thought body is a very advanced magic, which is difficult to practice and requires strong magic power to activate. In this regard, Knight can only 547 express sympathy. You can't choose anyone, Altair. Turning his head to look at the bow, 4 light screens are broadcasting the second round of the exam. Lucy, Kana vs Myra Jane. Phelide, Begusro vs Laxus. Mester, Loki vs Mistgun. Elfman, Gajiel vs Gildarts. As for Altair and Melty, and Natsu and Grey, these 2 groups have advanced to the third round. Each examiner sets different test contents, which will be decided by the examiner himself. But without exception, the second round will test the strength of the candidates. Compared to the boys' group exam, Knight was, but he paid more attention to Lucy and Kana. Under the attack of the black-winged demon Myra, the 2 kept hiding here and there to protect the little white ball in their hands. Kana used the space card magic taught by Knight to hide her little ball in a pile of cards, and threw all the cards in different directions. The rule is to protect the little ball, so hiding is okay, right? Myra, do you know which card it is? Kana in the picture proudly put one hand on her waist. And the other partner, Lucy, summoned Barug and gave her little ball to the other. Barug, take it and get into the ground, the farther you run, the better. The 2 showed their magical powers and chose to send their own little balls away tacitly. They stayed where they were and stopped Myra head on. Myra looked at the magic countdown floating in the air and said with a smile. There are still 2 minutes. It's great, Lucy, Kana, but this is not enough. As soon as she finished speaking, she flapped her wings and came to a card in an instant and grabbed it. Is it this one? Why do you know? Kana was stunned. Don't you suspect that they are all fake? Because the ball was made by Knight, it has his magic breath. Myra couldn't help laughing, and then turned her eyes and locked onto the Virgo star spirit Barug. Barug had already burrowed into the ground and escaped. Lucy saw that she wanted to chase her, so she immediately took off the star river from her waist, and swung out the magic whip to bind Myra's arm. At the same time, Kana also threw out a card. Onyx. Use dig. With a flash of white light, a snake-shaped Pokémon made of rock appeared in the field. Its body length is more than 10 meters. After receiving the master's order, the head plunged into the ground. Then, it rushed out from under Myra's feet, and its hard body seemed to want to restrain Myra. The cooperation is very good. A charming smile appeared on Myra's face, and she just pulled her hand suddenly, and Lucy was pulled up at the other end of the Star River. At the same time, the other hand blocked the head of the big rock, and a burst of dark green magic burst out from the palm. The magic impact instantly defeated the big rock. Boom! A thick dust was raised in the explosion. When the dust dispersed, Kana found that Myra was gone. Then, a figure flashed in the sky. The black-winged demon Myra had already appeared with Barug. Lucy was shocked. Barug. Sorry, princess, I was caught. Barug acted cute. At this time, Myra already had 2 white balls in her hand. It's a pity that you didn't pass the test. Try again next year. As she said, she squeezed hard, and the 2 balls were crushed on the spot. A golden teleportation array immediately appeared under the feet of Lucy and Kana. Seeing this scene, Knight couldn't help but think, Miss Myra really didn't give up at all. A golden light flashed, and Lucy and Kana appeared on the deck. The 2 looked at each other, and Lucy's face was full of regret. What a pity, I was just a little bit away from passing. Kana's face was also full of annoyance, and then she saw Knight laughing, and she couldn't help but glare at him angrily. Knight looked helpless. Blame me? Laxus will also decide the winner. At this time, Levi exclaimed. Everyone immediately looked at the light curtain. Compared with Marajana's gentle test rules, Laxus is much more rough. The rule to pass is to defeat him. In the picture, Begusro summoned 6 Pokémon to besiege Laxus, and Ferret also used the forbidden magic dark to transform himself into a demon form. However, even so, they were still no match for Laxus. Finally, in a roar of thunder dragon, the 2 were defeated together. With a flash of golden light, the two were teleported to the ship with injuries all over their bodies. Seeing this, Wendy immediately used healing magic and went forward to heal the two. Another group was eliminated. Knight pinched his chin and complained in his heart, "Too serious, don't you let them go. Only two groups are still fighting. The rules of Gildarts's test are simpler. He will stand in place, and as long as he can make him move one step, he will pass." However, even so, Elfman and Gajiel tried their best, but failed to do it successfully. It is still in a stalemate. As for Mester and Loki, the examiner they faced was Mr. Gang. The rules of the exam for Mr. Gang are also simple and clear. You can pass the exam if you defeat him. Of course, additional rules will be beneficial to candidates. The exam adopts a one-on-one mode, but candidates can change people at any time. That is to say, candidates can gain advantages by taking turns to fight, one person fighting and one person resting. Correspondingly, if any one person loses, both will be eliminated together. At this time, it was Loki who fought with Mr. Gang. Mester, who was resting outside the field, suddenly shouted, "Change people, Loki." Loki was stunned for a moment. "Have you rested?" Mr. Gang obeyed the rules and stopped attacking. At this moment, Mester instantly moved behind him and took off Mr. Gong's mask. Mr. Gong's pupil shrank, and his face, which was exactly the same as Jalal's, was immediately exposed to everyone. "Jalal!" Mester was shocked. "It's you. 254 all eliminated? You really don't let anyone off." The people watching the live broadcast of the S-level exam are not just the candidates and examiners of Tenro Island. The guild group is also broadcasting live. After Mr. Gong's mask was removed by Mester and his true appearance was exposed, the group chat suddenly exploded. "Macau, Jalal? The former counselor Jalal? Wakaba, wait, something's wrong, why is Mr. Gong Jalal? Jet, wasn't Jalal rescued from prison by the people of Demon Heart? Shocked.jpg. Listen, they are not the same person. Mr. Gang is Jalal of Edras. Troy, I see. No wonder Mr. Gang has been so mysterious. Lucy Ashley, it's because Jalal in your world is a big villain, so he has to cover his face, right? Walian, why is the big sister also in this group? Lucy Ashley, how rude, don't call me the big sister. Rage.jpg. Lucy Ashley, I am also a member of Fairy Tale, although it is another world, armsakimbo.jpg. Ritas, Myra let her in, Myra Jane. Under the serious tree. Mest stared at Mist Gang blankly. Jalal, no, that's not right, you are the Jalal from another world. Loki suddenly realized, no wonder you have to wear a mask, it's really hard. He felt the same way. As an exiled Leo, Loki has always concealed his